All right. RP's taking a potty break. So we just gonna chop it up, bro. How was your day, man? I know it's beautiful as always.
Oh,
Anything that caught your eye today, anything that motivated you, inspired you, or anything that you just want to share?
got a lot of things that's motivating me right now. I'm trying to buy this building I'm in. I'm in a little bit of stress, but I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. How about you?
Hey, you know what? You and I touched agreed about that building, so don't even worry about it. It's coming, bro. It's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah, you and I are a firm believer on some things, and we do know that if two or more agree, anything is possible. So we're gonna stand on that and believe on that. Man, just every day, man. It was just such a beautiful day today. You know what I mean? Got the kids and the family outside. Wife and I worked out in the driveway today. I mean, wore me out. But it was just a beautiful day. It was a beautiful day, man. And I've learned, like you and everybody else, man, to take the littlest things for appreciation, man. So when I wake up and I see the sun or raw shining through my window, it just puts a smile on my face.
You know what?
Yeah.
I didn't think hard enough.
Yeah.
What really surprised me this weekend was my two girls,
That's what's up.
Annabelle and Esther. Annabelle's 10 years old. Esther's 5 years old.
Right.
And recently got my cold plunge back to working.
That's what's up. Yeah.
And they ask me every single day to cold plunge.
That's good. Yeah.
And I don't know if you ever actually done it, but when you have a 5-year-old and a 10-year-old that's willing to go in cold water that's 40 degrees Fahrenheit,
right,
completely submerge and keep themselves in that painful cold water for more than a minute, and then want to do it again the next day.
Yes.
In my opinion, that's very impressive. I got some tough girls.
Yeah. They got a tough father.
Mentally tough. You know.
Right. Yeah.
That's rare in kids today.
It is. Yeah. I think it's rare because you don't have the manly man. That the masculinity has been attacked. You know what I mean? It's really been attacked. If you're too masculine, then you're a narcissist. You know what I mean? Or you're toxic some particular way. I've even had people tell me, "Man, you're just too confident," and I just think that's unreal. You know what I mean? But I think when we talk about Gen Zs, I have a son that's 25 years old. Matter of fact, fellas, I'm about to be a grandfather 3 times over. Is that how you say it? I already have one grandson who's a year and 4 months. Daughter called the other day and she's 5 months pregnant, and then my son calls and his wife is 6 weeks pregnant. So,
Whoa, buddy.
yeah, I got one. Yeah, I got one due in September, one due in November. So I got a busy year already. You know what I mean?
My lands.
Yeah.
Congratulations, brother.
I appreciate you. Yeah, I appreciate y'all. So, man, I got a big smile on my face.
That's awesome.
Pretty.
They look like they just came out the mountains. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost perfect, so to speak. And
Right.
and I certainly think that plays a role because there's just so many different faces out there, but it's all the same concept when you look at those things come across that. But I certainly agree with you on that.
Yeah, it's a mixture of our society when it comes to masculinity. And I think the biggest thing when it comes to masculinity is not necessarily the attack of it. It's actually what our movies and our culture is depicting masculinity as.
Yeah.
And that is not masculinity. Being the tough guy is not what being a masculine man is.
That's true.
That's not what masculinity is. Masculinity is protection. And a woman can be masculine. and a man can be feminine. And I don't think that's bad if a man is feminine or masculine.
Right.
They're traits, in my opinion.
Right.
And to be a masculine man is definitely somebody that is confident but humble.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And that's to be stoic. We kind of lost that. If we're a tough guy and strong guy, we want to be out the open. We want everybody to see me. Look what I can do.
Right.
I'm the top of the mountain. I'm alpha. And I'm big and strong.
Right.
And that's what we've been taught alpha is in our, Rambo, Rocky, all the movies I grew up with when I was, you guys watched the older ones. And then even today in our movies today, there's no strong manly characters. We our superheroes are stinking beanpoles. They don't got no muscles on them. I mean, I don't get that either. It's not something to look up to. I mean, when I see Superman on the TV nowadays, he looks like a freaking guy that plays video games.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like a guy that lifts weights or doesn't look strong and masculine either. But
anemic. He's anemic.
I got a lot of opinions on the masculinity thing.
I agree. That's a great point. Yeah, I do agree with you on that.
You know how churches and religion portray what masculinity is supposed to be. The guy above. And they use the Bible to justify their position in their family. Like, do it.
Right.
But
yeah, you got some key points on that.
And I'll throw vulnerability in there as well. What you're talking about, Chris, I think that's important as well too, to be able to show that side. And I put this in reference to my children. I guess I can be fearful if I raise that voice. I'm kind of a small guy, and so when I put that base in there, but to be able to, they're fearful of that, but to be able to show that other side of that and wear that kind of on your sleeve, that vulnerability is like it's okay to cry and it's okay to speak softly. It's not that you're weak or anything like that. It's what we talked about with meekness. I think that too is a part of that. Those things. It's okay for big, strong guys to show that part of it. It's a part of who you are. It's a part of humanity. We all have those things within us, and they are okay to show, no matter what society says or try to dictate. It is okay, and that's why the full gamut I express to my children, because I'm not just want to be this bam, 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 bam. Hey, Daddy cries too sometimes. That I do that too. Sometimes I am hurt. You know what I mean? Sometimes I am scared. And that's okay. I want you to understand those things, because that's a part of life.
Yeah. 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 I had a buddy of mine call me the other day. He's having his first child here in July. And he was like, man, I have to tell you, man, I'm really excited. And but he was like, I'm real logical, meaning, I want the process. So he's going through a midwife and he's like, well, give me the process of how this is going to go. And the midwife is like, well, you'll feel it. And when you feel it, then you'll make a move. And he's having a hard time with that. And what I told him is that, you know what? One thing when it comes down to women and pregnancy, I feel like it was necessary for me. I birthed my last 2 kids, was my feminine side. You know what I mean? Because you have to have that balance. You know what I mean? Yes, do I have the masculine side? I'm like you other brothers. I work out. I'm built well, deep voice, and but at the same time, when my wife wasn't able to reach down and do her toes when she was pregnant, I was able to do her toes for her because I felt okay. I was able to get in there and brush her hair, you know what I'm saying, to beautify her the way she wanted to, or put her ponytail up, or give her a bath, or wash her off. You know what I mean? I wasn't just this man like, oh, I can't do that because I'm a man. It's going to make me look a certain way. When it came down to my household, whatever position I needed to play, I would play. Even to this day, my kids are 3 and 5 years old. And, we have this thing where my wife washes clothes and we fold them. But when I get in there and start folding them, my 3-year-old comes in there, he starts folding towels. My 5-year-old comes in there, she's folding towels. You know what I mean? And so it's that masculinity and that feminine energy all brings itself together for the perfect balance. And when your kids, like Chris mentioned, your daughter wants to be like you and she follows by your lead, that lets you know, to me, that you're riding in perfect harmony. Even Robert, I know your daughters and I know your family, and they're the same way. It's almost like these 3 men on this phone right here. We are almost in just a perfect synchronicity when it comes to each other because of what we believe and what we stand upon when it comes to our family and how we think. But I think I'm like you both, man. That feminine and masculine energy is necessary to uphold a proper household. Because I grew up on a lot of masculine energy and didn't understand that you're supposed to cry. Didn't understand that, you give, you buy your woman or wife or flowers or whatever the case may be. You pull a red carpet out for them. Masculinity was just about providing, working, and doing what was necessary. And throughout my life, I have learned the balance, which brings a perfecto to my relationship with my family and my wife.
You mentioned so I've been fortunate, and I wish we could have taken the experience of giving the birth like you guys did. I wish we could have did that. I find that fascinating. I wasn't able to do that, but I've been for all my children. I've been able to be in the room,
Right.
with them as they're coming out. And so, I even asked the doctor one time, hey, can I get on the other side of that thing and see you do all that? They were like, hell
Right.
no, you can't get on that. No, sit down in that chair. You can't get on
Oh,
that.
they don't let you. They don't let you.
No, they got it's blocked off. I was sitting by my wife, but I wanted to be on the other side because she had that C-section. So I wanted to be on the other side
Oh,
and
Right.
watch that. They were like, no. Now
Right.
one let me take pictures, and it was like I used my mother-in-law. She had a professional camera, so that's one of those ones that. So
Yeah.
that thing, I'm going off on that thing, man. And so, but what you're talking about, King. Man, listen, it's just been me and my wife. So we do things. We have this motto: if the kids can't go, we can't go. And so that motto we set early, and what that has done has built unbelievable relationships between my kids and my family. To what you're
Right.
speaking on about being that man, showing that humanity. Hey, listen, I've done it all. What always we all have. Wash their heads and comb
Mm-hmm.
my daughter's hair and
Mm-hmm.
fold, do all the laundry and
Mm-hmm.
wash the dish. I was doing all
Yep.
that trash tonight. But it comes along, and so my children see that, and I hope
Mm-hmm.
that spreads off, spreads onto them. And you mentioned about combing, um, your wife's hair, and so my wife was in a accident, a very tragic accident, many moons ago. And so, man, doing all that by her side, combing her hair, washing her body, tending to her every
Yeah.
need. And
Yeah.
that is that humanity that needs to come out and needs to be shown as a man, no matter how big or small you are. It is beautiful, and
Yeah.
that
It's
needs
vital.
to be happen more often.
Right.
Maybe that would change some things in this world instead of being so callous and not giving a damn. And it's all about me. It's about everybody. It's about everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would say too, even, I was talking to some brothers a couple of days ago, and we were talking about Gen Zs. And, when you listen to the music these days, it plays a key role in how our kids are growing up. You know what I mean? I grew up in the 90s, and, I grew up on R&B music. It was love making music. Love making music. It wasn't beating up this, it wasn't fighting this, it wasn't shooting
Yep,
this, it wasn't, it was
you're right.
love making music.
And it
So
wasn't dirty either.
no, it
Yeah.
it wasn't. No, it wasn't PUSSY. Wasn't,
Yeah.
it was none of that. It was straight love making. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And so I grew up on that, and that was rooted in me. But the music these days, where you got, women saying, I don't even want you. I don't even want to procreate. I just want you to do. I just want you to
Yeah.
give me head, or I want you
Yeah.
to do this on both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
And then too, how we over sexualize our women. I had a brother come to me, and he was talking about Iran and how they treat their women. I'm like, yeah, I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. But as Americans, as in this society, we over sexualize women, booty shorts on. And even here in a particular part of the lake area, when these bars post promotional stuff, it's an 18-year-old girl in a bathing suit. You know what I mean? Sexualizing her to come to the bar and see this beauty here, and also to encourage you to buy a drink as well. And so we just live in a society as real men with balance. We're here to protect that. We're here to protect our daughter's innocence. Even our son's innocence, because we have women
Absolutely.
that attack our boys just as much as men attack our daughters. And
Mhm.
so, but I am encouraging my kids, to be a better version of me every day. And I see that in them. And also my kids encourage me to be a better version of myself.
Sure.
You know what I mean? They keep me in line. My wife, I do security and policing at times, and people make comments or pictures go out or whatever the case may be to what I'm doing. And I tell my wife I stand on the foundation of our commitment. You know what I mean? Not only because of who you are, but they don't even get that far, but because of my kids. My kids look at me, and I have 6 of them, and they're looking at me on an everyday basis on how I maintain myself, how I focus on myself and focus on the people around me. And that right there is the inspiration for me to stay strong in all I do. So I encourage people out there to stay strong, stay focused, and don't get sidetracked or distracted by the little things of this world. Like the Bible says, it's the small foxes that destroy the vine. It's not the big things. It's the small things that constantly eat at people on an everyday basis that will break you down and leave you out to rot.
And also, it's those small things that make you feel awesome, that build up every day as well.
That is true too. That is true too. Hey, I'm gonna go back on my chemical balance of love. I've done some research. We're gonna come back and talk about this later. We're gonna come back and talk about this.
I gotta get off here, guys. I gotta go to bed.
Yes, sir. I understand.
All right, Kings. Beautiful, beautiful. Love the conversation.
Love
Tuesday.
y'all. All right,
hey,
then.
we doing 8:45 Tuesday. Is that what you need, Chris? 8:45.
Tuesdays are not the days I don't have to worry about going to bed early. It's
tonight.
It's Sundays.
Okay,
yeah.
My bad. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I got I get at the gym on Mondays and Tuesdays at 6 in the morning.
Okay. So 8:45 on Sunday, then 9:15 is okay.
I mean, if we could do it even earlier, that'd be cool.
Okay. I see what I can do. I see what I can do. Hey, I love y'all, man. Always,
yes, sir.
Beautiful. Love y'all.
Hey, I love y'all too, Kings. We see y'all.
Love you too, man.
Peace.
All right, bet.
Peace.